Hi everybody, and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. This one's from user Blurble2005. Dad cheating with coworker. I, 15 female, found out my married dad is having an affair with a younger female coworker, who is also married. I had my suspicions about the pair, but it was my 12-year-old sister that discovered the incriminating messages on my dad's phone and showed them to me. I have no idea how long this has been going on between the two. They've known one another for 2 years, and I've personally known the woman for a year. We play recreational sports on weekends and she drops off homemade goods at our house. It's strange and betraying to know that the woman I initially thought was romantically involved with my dad, which I later felt foolish for thinking, is in fact in a secret relationship with him. I know it's typical for teenagers to be very upset and angry at their parents for their infidelity, and I am upset, but I can still see what drove my dad to starting this affair. Learning my dad was unfulfilled in his relationship with my mother is upsetting, and I feel genuinely bad for both people in this affair for being so unhappy before finding one another. All of this being said, I am foremost upset that my younger sister had to find out about this, and that she now has to carry the burden of his secret. I am also upset with my father for breaking our family's tight lockdown to continue to meet with this woman. He is putting 5 other people in our household at risk, including his highly at-risk mother and his wife, an effing doctor. I'm asking for advice on how to proceed. I intend on confronting my dad about this because I'm not going to keep his secret. How have others gone about confrontations? I think it would be a good idea for my siblings and I to seek therapy or counseling after this, as I believe this infidelity may hurt my younger sister and brother as well as me. How should I suggest this to my dad? As the oldest sibling, I feel responsible for getting my sister uninvolved as soon as possible. I'm trying to pull together everything so I can tell her what the plan is, how I'm going to solve this, and how she will no longer be keeping this secret. What do I tell her to help her? Any other advice for me? Well, OP, there's 2 things that I'm thinking of right now. One is that you're right, your sister should not be keeping your dad's secret. At the same time, neither should you. The second one is I don't understand how you can be okay with your dad cheating. Regardless if he was unfulfilled in his marriage or not, having an affair is not the right response for that. And on top of that, apart from him having an affair and cheating on your mom, he's putting everybody at risk, like you say. It seems to me that you're getting your story only from one source, and that is your dad's messages. Of course he's gonna say in his messages that he's unfulfilled or whatever. He needs an excuse to cheat. That's what cheaters do. They give themselves reasons to be right in cheating. What do you guys think about OP's situation right now? In the meantime, how about we go check out the community comments to see what kind of advice OP got for her problem. Betrayal Taken says, get the evidence and tell your dad to confess to your mom. She deserves to know. Better call a family meeting. You all ask for therapy. Stay strong, it's none of your fault. OP responds, thank you. I hadn't even thought about talking to my mom yet. A family meeting is a really good idea. Retired Guy Ken says, make sure you have irrefutable proof with multiple copies safely stored in different locations. Then, tell him you know everything and he needs to come clean in the next 2 days in front of your mom or you will out his affair. He may react badly and seize your phone, iPad, laptop, etc. So this is why you need multiple copies in truly safe locations. Don't trust that he will do this on his own and he may lie about your mom knowing. Don't believe it unless it comes out of your mom's mouth. Good luck and stay safe. OP responds, I'll keep some messages printed out just in case. Thank you. Lucy McConkey says, I'm sorry this happened to you and your sister. My son had suspicions about his dad and ended up feeling very guilty for not telling me. None of this is your fault. No one is a winner in this situation. You don't need to carry his secret and you are doing the right thing. Just be prepared for lots of lies, excuses, and pretty awful behavior from the adults in your life. Unfortunately, when people go on the defensive, they say and do all kinds of things. I'm not being condescending by saying you are very brave and should be proud of yourself. Lots of people of all ages struggle to deal with information. Your parents are human, and being given the title Mom and Dad doesn't change them. Good luck. OP responds, "Thank you for the support. I'm trying to accept these flaws in my parents while still holding them accountable to stabilizing my siblings and I. It's a balance I'm just now learning." Okay, so what do you guys think about the advice? In a video of a few days back, I suggested to OP to tell the person who was cheating to out themselves. And a lot of people in the comment section were not agreeing with me and were telling me how wrong I was. I accepted that, and now I know better. So what do you think about this advice? Should OP tell her dad to out himself, or should she go directly to her mom and tell her everything she knows? Based on everything I learned from that other comments section, I'm totally inclined of telling OP to just go to her mom and tell her what she knows, and then we'll see if her mom knows or not. Anyways, let me know what you think in the comments section, and in the meantime, let's move on to the update that happened 7 months after the initial post. First of all, I appreciate everyone who commented on that first post. I appreciate the guidance and support. It's been a while since my original post. I talked to my dad about his infidelity in August 2020, and he explained the situation. He's been sleeping with his coworker since spring 2020. Side note, his coworker is not married. I was incorrect in my original post. I, 16 female, told him to talk to my mom, who he's married to, about it, and then discuss it with our entire family. My mother and younger siblings, 12 male and female. I was planning on following up with my dad to make sure he'd actually told my mom, but I got busy with school and I didn't want to rehash it. I assumed he'd told her. Well, he never did. He told her yesterday, right before he had a family meeting with us all to break the news. Even though my sister and I knew he was cheating over 6 months ago. Well, new plot twist. He got his coworker pregnant. They're having a child together. The kid is due in May, so this has been known and kept secret for quite some time. He wants to divorce my mom and marry his coworker. This infidelity has revealed unhealthy patterns of behavior that my dad has been using on my mother for quite some time. He has been neglecting and manipulating my mother for years to take her power away from her. He's tried to convince my siblings and I that we're happier without our mother. He's been telling our relatives that my mother terrorizes and abuses us. She doesn't, so he can have custody of us. My mom is rightfully upset, but she's expressed relief that something is finally changing in her marriage. Mom tells my siblings and I that she wants us to make the decisions that are best for us, in terms of where we live and how we navigate this new family dynamic. My mom is very level-headed and wants my siblings and I to choose our living situations for ourselves. She's trying to figure out how to explain her unhealthy marriage and my dad's manipulation to my siblings. Dad speaks strangely about his affair, calling it a net positive for the family, and refusing to take responsibility for impregnating his coworker. He is continuously love-bombing me and guilting me into telling him I love him, and telling me that the love and acceptance I give will be returned. Does anyone else find that to be an incredibly manipulative statement? He expects me to forgive him and be okay with his actions, even though he has expressed no remorse or accountability. He is spinning false narratives to my siblings as well, telling us all vastly different stories about how things transpired. I am disturbed and upset by his pathological lies and constant manipulation. Dad's moving out over spring break, in a few weeks, to live with his new family. My parents have started the process of divorce and I'm sure there will be conflict over custody and finances. I am excited to move on with my family and my life and start therapy. I worry that my dad will continue to hurt and lie to my siblings, who are young and more forgiving of his actions. That's the short version, honestly. Any advice, sympathy, or commiseration would be appreciated. How do I help my siblings through this? Do you have any advice for coping with this crazy news? Well, I can definitely tell there's been a change within OP. You can tell by the way she's writing this. In the first post, she actually said that she understood why her dad cheated by being unfulfilled in his marriage. Now, we all know that the only reason somebody can have for cheating is none. It doesn't exist. There are no reasons for cheating. Cheaters simply suck. Anyways, I digress. And on this second post, we can definitely see how OP feels negatively towards her dad, calls him a pathological liar and a manipulator. And according to her, he's been psychologically abusing her mother for a while now. So we can now see that something within her has definitely changed. And that's what a cheating parent's gonna do to you. Now, in terms of advice, I would just say, hey OP, tell your siblings what your dad did. They're old enough to understand that what he did is wrong. And also, tell them to look out for his manipulation. What advice would you give OP? Let me know in the comment section. And now, let's move on to the community advice that OP got on this update. Love My Kitty Cat 2020 says, tell your siblings what he did. Band together and tell him to get lost. That if he cared about you children, he would not have cheated on your mother nor recklessly got some old woman knocked up. You don't have to be nice about it. Support your mother, she deserves better. OP responds, I agree with that. I want to distance myself from my dad as much as possible. My siblings are trying to be nice like you said and are attempting to stay neutral on the issue. They're buying the crap my dad says, and my mom telling them, choose what you think is best, doesn't have much power against all the lies. I can try to tell them the reality of what's happening. Tercer78 says, holy hell. You may not realize it now, but you will likely have troubles with relationships due to your father's despicable behavior. I hope you keep up therapy for a long time. It will be hard for you to hear and recognize that this is completely unhealthy behavior from your father. I encourage you to create as much distance as you can from him and love your mother as much as you can. Your father is a broken human being, and he's doing his best to continue the cycle of abuse by breaking you and your siblings. Do your best to avoid it. So much damage is already done and will take you years to overcome, if you're truly able to overcome it. OP responds, thank you. The core of this issue is my dad's refusal to change his dangerous patterns of behavior. I don't want to be anywhere around that, if I can help it. I will continue to support my siblings if they want to spend time with his new household, but I plan on telling them the truth about my dad's actions. My mom and I have a close bond, and I'm happy that she has a path for a better future now. I think therapy is going to be essential. I do not want to end up like my dad. I guess I officially qualify for daddy issues now. NEC-worthiness17 says, after the divorce, your mother should contact the HR department where your dad and the co-worker work. They may have violated some company policies with their affair, and that could result in one or both of them losing their jobs. Of course, this depends on what company they work for. Some won't care, and some will show them the door. OP responds, I have no intent to damage my dad's personal life or try to retaliate through his work. That being said, it is probably a good idea to contact his work and let them know that some of their workers are starting a family together. My mom was planning on doing this when most of everything else was finished. And that's all we know about this up to this point. I'll keep an eye on this post to see if there are any more updates from OP. Hopefully what happens next will be that, well, OP's mom and dad get divorced properly and they can start therapy to work through their problems and move forward. And so we've reached the end of the video. I truly hope you liked it. If you did, leave a like. And don't forget to subscribe to reach our goal of 100,000 subscribers. Also, if you feel like chatting with others from this community, you can always join my Discord server and check out my subreddit. I'll leave the links in the description. And I'll see you guys in the next video.